Welcome back. Last month, women activists from Jordan went to New York to present a report on their government's compliance with a UN convention aimed at ending discrimination against women. Jordan ratified the convention known as CEDAW in 1992, but it made some reservations, which campaigners say affect women's rights and leave them open to abuse and hardship. Now, Jordan's government says it will end such discrimination, and it's thanks in part to Afaf Jabiri, the regional coordinator for the Karama Group, one of the delegations that put its findings before the UN. Afaf, welcome to Everywoman. First of all, can you explain just how these reservations to the convention were affecting women in Jordan?
There are three reservations Jordan reserved in the CEDAW Convention, which is the first one related to the nationality law, Article 9 in the Convention. The second one, number 15, which is related to the residency, and 16, which is related to marriage relation. Actually, if we can take one of them, which is the nationality law, which doesn't give the Jordan reserved the right to give women the same right of men to pass their nationalities to their children.
Other factors in Jordan are, for example, that women can't even get passports without a male family member giving their permission. So women were facing quite a lot of discrimination and inequality in Jordan.
Yeah, this is another issue, but actually there is a change in this regulation. Now women, it has been changed in 2002, and women now can gain their passport without the permission of their husband. But this is in theory, we can say, like it's the law is changed, but in practice we still record some of the violation to this right. And actually this is one of the main points of the debate in New York with the Jordan government delegation, because as they change the law, then they have to lift this reservation.
Afaf, why did the government include these reservations? What was the thinking behind it?
Part of the justification for the Article 9, which is the nationality, is a political issue that Jordan now is not ready because of the conflict in the region. And actually here is the question, why it's ready to give the women who are married to Jordanian men the nationality, but are not ready to give the men who are married to Jordanian women. So then we have the question of citizenship and who's the citizen. For other issues, the residency and the marriage issues, they say it's because it contradicts with Islamic Sharia. And actually this is one of the points we are discussing in Jordan and in the Arab region. Because some of the Arab countries, they didn't reserve those rights, they reserve other articles. So for us, and also they justify it by saying that it contradicts with Islamic Sharia.
Okay, well the government has said that it's going to end discrimination against women. Are you confident that that will happen?
Actually, the government had made some promises, either in New York or when they come back in Jordan, that there will be, in 2 years, there will be a law criminalizing violence against women, which is one of the issues actually we stressed either in our report or in our session, the informal session with the CEDAW committee members, because we, until now, do not have any law criminalize violence against women.
The final thing I want to touch on with you is the incredible campaigns that women's activists have made in Jordan, because all of the things that you have gained have been because of your relentless campaigning for change.
Yeah, actually, one of most of the achievements in Jordan came through the women's movement, our women's NGOs in Jordan, who are struggling a lot actually to change these laws. And we gained, and actually the last achievement was to ratify the CEDAW by publicizing it in the National Gazette, and that was before we go to New York of 2 days.
Well, it's an amazing achievement. Afaf Jabiri, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Now, here on Everywoman, we've been highlighting the physical and emotional struggles of one of our colleagues who's suffering from breast cancer. In June of this year, Rebecca Lipkin was diagnosed with a rare form of the disease which doesn't show up on routine scans. She's now undergoing the trauma of chemotherapy. But as this week's video diary shows, she's coping with humour and optimism.
3 months later, I think I'm sort of calm about this. Almost matter of fact when I tell people that I have cancer. And it's stunning to me that things that can seem so shocking initially seem almost commonplace. It is just what happens in the human psyche. I do have lots of gifts now, more gifts since the last time. My friends in Doha, yes, from the Every Woman program, have given me this one. She is lovely. I love her lips. And it is hard to resist this regifted treasure from Hawaii. Or here's a fantastic t-shirt ordered specifically for me from Germany. And I will say also, I am very pleased because there have been greetings from world leaders, and it has really meant a lot to me. Thank you, Americans. I'm now halfway through with the chemotherapy treatments, and for me, it's truly a milestone. I think before I had to do this, I didn't understand what chemotherapy was going to be like. Nobody would unless they're under it. I assumed it was going to be an overnight trip to a hospital. I was going to be hooked up to a bunch of monitors, and there were going to be vials and a clinical sort of feeling about chemotherapy, and that I was going to emerge every time very drained and very sick. And chemo was much worse in imagination than it was in actuality. The procedure is really pretty painless. First, they give you this steroid, and that is filled with anti-nausea drugs. And then they give you these 2 vials. In my case, these blood red vials of liquid go into my body, and they feel fine. You don't really know what's going on. Then there are these 2 clear vials that follow. A nurse is sitting with you, watching you, making sure that you are okay. After that long session, believe it or not, I didn't think it would be this way. I feel fine. Day 2 is usually okay, and then eventually the revenge of the chemo. Day 3, trouble begins. There's some nausea. There's a lot of fatigue that sets in, and it is utter bewilderment on my part that a few vials of this nasty poison that is making me better can cause such havoc. So nausea is a big side effect, but most people can't see the nausea. They don't notice. For me, the biggest side effect, it's got to be the hair. This is difficult for me to deal with. I mean, people think it's fine, but I've been one of these people I've always loved my hair. Almost unnatural love of my hair in a ridiculous way. It was long and lovely. So for me, my grieving is about hair loss. I know it's temporary. I know it will grow back. It may come back differently. I may come back looking like Michael Jackson. I don't know. But it's going to grow back. But when my hair started to fall out, I truly grieved. So what I did was I cut it short to prevent the sadness of it coming out. I just didn't want to see that. And I got myself fitted for a wig, a lovely woman in London who makes these, wigs with real hair. And at work, all the people are calling her Estelle. She's sort of bouncy, sort of different from me. I don't know what she's like, but I'm in that middle range right now. I have too much hair for Estelle to be really comfortable on my head. I have too little hair not to wear scarves and hats and other coverings, and I'm just getting used to it. I know it's only hair, but there's no question. But for some reason, the loss of my hair, it hits me more, I think, than the eventual loss of my breast. It's crazy, but that's who I am. Recently, we went on this boat trip with the Al Jazeera crowd, and I saw what I thought was the most beautiful sunset I'd ever seen. I'm sure I've seen sunsets before, but it never meant so much. And being with people I know and I love, it just meant more to me than I can ever have imagined earlier. This last week, my doctor gave me some good news, and cancer patients like good news. After 2 of the 4 treatments I've received, the disease has not spread past my left breast and past my lymph nodes, and in the cancer world, that term is called localized. And those nasty tumors in those lymph nodes, well, they have shrunk 30% after just the first 2 treatments. So that's good. That's very good. Halfway through the treatments, I have less hair, certainly. I have less energy, certainly. But I'm still keeping on, and I'm not truly down. I'm certainly not out, and I am ready for the next treatment and the next challenge.
Well, as you might expect, we've had an overwhelming response to Rebecca's diaries, many of them very moving. Dinah Rushing emailed us from the United States. She says, in 2000 I was diagnosed with lymphoma at stage 4 with no hope of survival. Since I was such a goner, I qualified for experimental drugs, which I took with double doses of chemotherapy every 21 days for 6 months. Today I'm 5 years plus, cancer-free, into remission. So never give up your quest for research. Do your homework. Use the internet, and family and friends and colleagues or anyone willing to talk about your cancer. You can beat it. And many of you have also sent your views via YouTube, like this one. Rebecca, I love your attitude. With it, you will conquer your cancer. Stay strong and you will continue to inspire all. So, have you or one of your friends or family suffered from breast cancer? If so, we'd love to hear from you. Visit the Al Jazeera website at www.aljazeera.net/English. Click on Programmes, then Every Woman to find out more. Next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Rebecca will be joining me on the programme in person. But for now, that's it. Next week, human trafficking. Is enough being done to combat this worldwide slave trade? For now, from all the Every Woman team, bye-bye.